Hey, my elevators. I just had the most interesting call with a midwife and a doula on behalf of my sister. My sister is giving birth to her very first child, and it's a girl, and I'm so excited. I mean, I'm over the moon with joy. So much so that I was like, hey, have you considered maybe, instead of going to a hospital, a birthing center and, having a midwife and a doula? The experience, the conversation that I had with them was so enlightening. Like I was energized. I was vigorated when I got off the phone with them because of how much education they shared with the birthing experience when it's not in the hospital. I never really considered how a lot of African Americans are numbers in the hospital and they want, you in and out. Well, the experience that these ladies provide, it's whatever you want. She said it would pretty much be your show. So if you wanted the lights dimmed and you wanted candles and you wanted something sexy on, if you wanted it in your own home, the delivery to be in your own home, or if you wanted it in a birthing center so that if, things got complicated or there were, some complications or some issues with the delivery, staff and, medicine and things like that are accessible for you. And I just thought that was beautiful because although I had, like my own PJs or whatever, when I gave birth, the environment wasn't like that. It wasn't loving, it wasn't nurturing. I remember I couldn't eat. She's, informed my sister, hey, if you exert as much energy as you do running a marathon and giving birth, you can't do that off ice chips and popsicles. And I thought that was profound. I also found value in as many people being there to love and support her, that if she's in a loving environment, her body can do whatever she needs it to do. And I was like, man, like, this is really beautiful. She also mentioned that Beyonce and Serena experienced, kind of discrimination when they were in the hospital, or also, being denied like pain medication or certain things when they were giving birth. So it doesn't really matter about how much money a person has, but it's absolutely the color of our skin. And we just don't get the same treatment that other people, other races get. We are also, kind of targeted or tagged or associated or, kind of labeled as the stronger population. Like African American women are stronger than other races, and that's a myth. But I love the beauty in all of this. Like as she was talking, and I mean, yes, it's her job to sell her pitch, right? Yes, it's her job to, sell us an experience. But everything these days is about an experience. And why not childbirth? Like when you go to Apple, you want good customer service. When you go to restaurants, you want good customer service. You don't want to wait too long. You want your waiter to come and check on you. You want to, feel like the person cares about, your experience in this restaurant. And childbirth is no different. I now feel differently about this in and out the hospital thing. She talked about, having support like a week before her delivery date, and then coming to her a week after. Not every day, but she has access to her. She will have access to the midwife and the doula for 30 days. They will come and relieve her like 2 hours or whatever, a couple of days out the month. I thought that was beautiful, because I remember days when I was going through postpartum. That's another episode. But I remember being very stressed and being angry, that I am a single parent and I'm having to do this on my own. And I'm seeing about this crying baby and all that. But the more people that she surrounds herself with who's there to love and support her and just see her through this process, like she can do anything. And lastly, before I go, I really was thinking, and I told my sister this, like, the people that, you know, we may have in our circles could have already experienced what we have gone through, right? Or what we're going through now. But that doesn't mean you get to diminish or minimize my experience. So for instance, I told my sister, you have friends, family, and everybody who has experienced childbirth before. You don't let that dictate how big or how small you go. This midwife and this doula, I really hope that she does it, because she will have a very different childbirthing experience than anybody that she knows. And she will be more connected to her baby. She'll be more connected, you know, to her family and just the overall experience in general. She probably won't suffer from postpartum depression because her experience is different. Her input is different, so her output has to be different. So I just wanted to stop by and share that, like, I never really considered it, but, you know, my sister is almost 40 years old, and I'm like, hey, girl, like, what about a midwife? You know, what about a doula? You know, let's think about that. So we had a Zoom call, and I was overjoyed, and I'm so excited to meet my new niece. And I just really hope, you know, she does go with this midwife and doula option. But I wanted to just share this because we have been misinformed on so many things, and the childbirth experience is one of those. Like, after having that call tonight, I now look at this as a different process. Like, this process is supposed to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be painful. Like, I love that they didn't use pain. They didn't use words like contraction. They didn't use words like epidural, and it was one, she used the term, it's a word that speeds up your contractions when the baby is not ready and the mom is not ready. And she said this is a natural process. It's all supposed to happen when the baby is ready, when the baby lets the mom know, hey, I'm ready to come. But if we've been in a hospital for too long, I know for me, they sped my contractions up. Even though my water broke and my mucus plug, you know, came out or whatever, they still, Pitocin, they still sped my contractions up with Pitocin, and my baby's heart rate dropped, which is indication that she wasn't ready to come. And the midwife, you know, and the doula mentioned that tonight. Like, they actually said the dropping of a baby's heart rate will happen when you artificially give it a hormone to do some things and to try to speed up that process. So I was just really enlightened by it all. You know, maybe you guys can take some time just to read, you know, you can educate somebody else on this process. But I really feel empowered, you know, and I'm really ready to support my sister in this. Like, I'm ready to get her bag together, and, you know, I've been buying things and just collecting things for my niece, so that when she comes, like, she just feels loved, and my sister knows that she's loved, and supported through this process. So read up on the midwife and the childbirth experience, and just how Western medicine has really, really put a dark cloud over it for many of our African American women. So until the next time, my elevators, until I make the next video, thank you so much for just vibing out with me, listening to me rant and rave. But as I have different experiences, like, I'm going to share, and be on the lookout for my Divine Femininity series that's about to drop. Some big, and it's something big in the making. Have a good evening. Oh, and stay warm, because today is February 2nd, 2022. So 2/2/2022. And it's supposed to get really cold tonight. So stay warm. Light your fireplaces. Open up your ovens. Yes, I said ovens. Open up your ovens. You know, turn your heat on and knock the chill off in the house or whatever. But just enjoy this downtime. Do something that you need. Read up on childbirth. Read up on spirituality, you know, read up on crystals, read up on Reiki, read up on something that is challenging and inviting, something that you are interested in. But until the next video, have a good evening.